Welcome to TrekTrav. I'm Trav, and this is a review for Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 7, Erigah. And I just wanted to talk about how amazingly suspenseful this episode is. Let's sit back, subscribe, like, comment, share. Tell me what you thought of this episode. Hate, like, I want to know. Let's start off with something I've noticed all season, but I want to talk about this now. The music in this season is hands down the best Discovery's had. Jeff Russo and whoever who's doing this music, it sounds epic. It builds tension. It's got a sense of dread and a sense of sort of excitement and action. Like, he's hit every beat in this season, and it's fantastic. Like, I can't, apparently cats go crazy over me talking about music, but it's amazingly just fresh. Makes the whole season feel fresh, and that's the thing I'm really enjoying in the background of this season. Other than the show looking spectacular, the music is spectacular. Let's talk about the episode now. Now, this was a huge build. We know the Breen are in this season. We know they're coming. It was pretty bloody obvious the whole season. And then coming into this episode is amazing. So they've got Maul and Locke. Locke is dying on a table. Maul is by his side. The Breen are coming because they want him. We knew that he was a member of the royal family or the Imperium. He was a direct descendant of the Emperor, I'm gathering. And we knew this was coming, that the Breen were going to want him because they have a bounty on their head. He is a direct line to the throne, and we get this really interesting interaction between Rayner talking about how his home planet was just taken over by the Breen. We get his anger, we get his passion, we get that dread sense. He's the one talking with the emotion of these. He's the one talking with the emotion and the feeling behind what the Breen can do. We know the Breen are going to come in. They're going to want to fight. They're going to want to kill, and we got President Tarina returning. No Saru. Saru's not here this season. Admiral Vance, who's always welcome. Tilly tries to leave to go to the space to Starfleet Command, but she's brought back to look for the mystery, which is a little metal card. Stamets is in this episode, working on finding out where the next clue is from the Beta Z component. We get Michael sort of talking Rayner down, talking about his passion. She sees his emotions. We get Tina Taro, for some reason, knowing about ancient books, and she was a smuggler, and she apparently got around quite a bit. It was a really wacky sort of scene. But the main crux of this episode is the Breen are coming from Maul and Locke. They're coming to Starfleet Command. Discovery and Michael and everyone needs to work out how to stop an incoming war. We've seen that the Breen will in one future destroy Starfleet Command, and in this episode that is a constant fear coming ahead. The music builds the tension. The Primarch comes on board. They use his fear of losing the leadership of his people, because they're fighting, they're in factions, they're fighting about who will take over. And it's sort of played a little bit secretively, and then we see the plan. It's all about going, well, if you want them, we've already made a deal with someone else, but what we can do is keep them, and that way things stay as they are and you could win. And this works. And then Maul escapes. Locke poisons himself so she can escape. He goes a little too far, and he is dying. Maul tries to escape. Booker tries to reason with her and does. She comes in and she witnesses him dying. They say goodbye to each other. He says, "It will be okay." And then she makes the deal. So with him being dead, obviously there's no more. His body can be used to verify the line, but there is no more reason for them to be nice to the Federation. And what Maul does is basically give the game away for the season. He's telling the Breen that the Federation has a secret and they are hunting down the Progenitor's technology. And they are basically given a choice because Maul and Locke were married, to take her along so she can lead them to this technology, and it will mean superiority, and he will be the Primarch will be the leader of the Breen. Now, I want to talk about the Breen. I want to talk about how I think they're going. So when they were introduced this season, I thought, oh, brilliant, cool. It's a good villain. We haven't seen their face. So it was really interesting to see what they look like. Then we got I personally got a little disappointed at the humanoidness, but they're apparently giant jelly people. It was a weird mix. They're also not as physically imposing, but this episode does show the threat. Funnily enough, the Breen got smaller, but their ship got bigger. And when I say bigger, I mean fucking massive. It was like, whoa, okay, this thing's here. But all the way through this episode, and going back to the beginning of this video, the music is building, it's growing, it's building the tension. Everyone in this is trying to stop a conflict, trying to do the right thing. The Breen give the Federation an ultimatum. You've got 5 minutes to give us Maul and Locke's body, Maul as well as Locke's body, and otherwise we're going to blow you up, essentially. And the choice is, give them Maul and not have a war, or keep Maul and everyone dies. And that is the crux of it. And they're all standing around there, Tarina, Vance, Burnham, Rayna, talking about the option, talking about what they could do if they give him to Maul. Like they're going, basically, she's probably going to die. And the amazing part is they make the choice to give Maul to the Breen. Booker says this is wrong and walks off, and Michael gives him a knowing look. And I'm still not sure whether Michael thinks this is the wrong thing to do. I think it is ultimately the best thing for everyone not to die, but it's a really climactic ending. They get the clue, they know where it is. We're going on an adventure to the Badlands next episode, which was in Deep Space Nine, as you know, and it's where Voyager went whisked off to the Delta Quadrant. So in the Badlands we go. It was nice having the Badlands in there. It's not Deep Space Nine. It would have been great if they just had like a shot of Deep Space Nine sort of old and falling to pieces, and they have to be on Deep Space Nine. I want Deep Space Nine to show up. Why hasn't it shown up yet? But overall, like, the build of the episode is basically Discovery can get there faster. They've got the spore drive. They can fucking nail it. And that's where it ends. They're going to the Badlands for the last piece from the aptly named Marina Betazoid. And it's fantastic. Like, there's a lot of naysayers, and I know you're watching. We've been discussing Discovery for about a week now. And I think this is becoming my favourite season. I think if they nail the ending to this, and I hope to God the Progenitor's technology isn't like anything that makes anyone a god. I hope the Progenitor's technology isn't anything weirdly religious. And thankfully, this episode, there was no religious overtones, but we know it's coming. And I feel like everything's hitting full burners here. I feel like this is Discovery knowing what it is, knowing not what message it is that it's showing. It's adventurous, it's tense, it's everything it needs to be a fantastic show. And guess what? It's the final season. And that's what makes me so damn annoyed. I record these reviews. I was so excited to do season 5 of Discovery. And then to find out it's the final season, and And seeing the quality that they're putting out really makes me sad that this is it. We've got 3 more episodes of Star Trek Discovery, and then it's nothing. We've got Starfleet Academy in a year or 2, Strange New Worlds in about a year, we got some Lower Decks later this year, and hopefully some Star Trek Prodigy at some point this year. But it's honestly the best season of Star Trek Discovery so far. Like, if they don't nail the ending, it won't be. We might have a season 3 on our hands. But I definitely feel like this is potentially one of the best episodes. I've enjoyed every episode except for, I think it was episode 2, where I was a bit like, eh. But this season has lifted the game, and I think Discovery naysayers really need to give this show another go, because there is some fantastic stuff coming out of Discovery. Sometimes it misses the mark, and I'll admit that. But this season has been pretty damn good. It's an adventure. We've got thrill. We've got threat. We've got Booker, Burnham, Rayner. Rayner has been a godsend to this series. His character is interesting. His feelings and the way he does things is a breath of fresh air, while being familiar to something like TNG and a more stoic captain, or a bristly captain. And I think his character really plays well against Michael's more airy-fairy, emotional captain. But saying that, Michael this season has been much more captainy. She's much more direct. She's thinking about the consequences. Even Sonequa Martin Green's acting has really, really gone up in quality. Like, she's doing less of the breathy air talk and more of the affirmative, assertive communication. We've got Tilly back this season, and she's been amazing as well. Like, her story isn't huge. She's been insecure about her teaching methods, but having her back has been a breath of fresh air. And having Tig Notaro pop up for one scene every 2 episodes is a bit weird, but I enjoy it. Stamets has been really good, although not much going on. He's the scientist. You'd think he'd be there more. I think Culber, while he's dealing with the religious parts, when he's doing the doctory parts or when he's doing medical parts, he's really fantastic. I think Adira's coming along really well, sort of building her confidence. And look, I get that the main story is this adventure to find the progenitors technology and the Breen, but the character moments in this season have been of a high bar. We're seeing more of the characters. And I am still asking, though, and this is the one thing, where is Owo and what's her name? That's a level of character development. Detmer. Where are Owo and Detmer? They just disappeared. We've got these new navigation people. Like, where did they come from? Why are they there? Like, did they just fire them mid-season? I don't know. I also noticed that Doug Jones isn't on the starring thing anymore, so obviously he's not a main player in this season. But to be honest, this season has been really fantastic. And I know that people are going to say, no, it's the same Discovery bullshit, but I don't care. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying the characters. I'm enjoying the music. I'm enjoying the special effects. We got to see some really great Federation starships, and I'm going, they're the weirdest looking fucking things. It's like an art student was given spaceship design. And overall, I think this season is playing to be one of the best, and I think if they nail the landing, it will be the best. What did you think about Star Trek Discovery Season 5, Episode 7, Erigah? Erigah? What did you think about this episode? I, honest to God, thought it was fantastic. This amount of energy doesn't come from me not liking an episode. That's all I'm saying. I've tried to be slower in my recent videos to be more articulate, but I'm excited by this episode. I'm excited by how the season's going, by the acting, by the music, by the story. The Breen come across as a threat, imposing themselves. They're very formal. That when they pull the staffs out and bang it on the floor, like, it's some really great stuff. So make sure to share, like, and come back next week. Also, this weekend we begin our Doctor Who Series 1 reviews. So make sure to subscribe. I've been TrekTrav. Have a great night.